The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome and good morning, everyone. We apologize for the delay. We did have some technical difficulties in getting started. So again, thank you very much for attending today's webinar on the Congregate Dining RFP. My name is Nikki Pertzos, and I'm an Assistant Commissioner with the Department of Family and Support Services, Senior Services Area Agency on Aging. DFSS is the city's primary social services provider for vulnerable residents of Chicago. Our mission is working with community partners. We connect Chicago residents and families to resources that build stability, support their well-being, and empower them to thrive. We do encourage you to look at our website for additional information on programs and services that are provided through our department. So the purpose of the RFP today is we're seeking proposals for qualified agencies for the provision of congregate dining meal services. Awarded respondents will provide meals of various types along with the related supplies to older adults 60 years of age or older at various locations in the city of Chicago, as designated by DFSS. Catered meals are prepared and delivered to the nutrition sites, while on-site meals are prepared and served at the same site. On-site meal providers will be responsible for providing staff to serve the prepared food. So, brief history of the Congregate Dining Program. As the Area Agency on Aging, Senior Services provides various programs and services that protect the rights and support the needs of older adults in the city of Chicago. For more information about DFSS and the programs and services provided through Senior Services, we again encourage you to visit our website. The Congregate Dining Program, also known in the city of Chicago as Golden Diners, started in 1968 as a pilot project. The success of the program resulted in national funding under the Federal Older Americans Act. The program is open to adults 60 years of age and over, and their spouses of any age. The program is designed to create and strengthen social and organizational relationships among the elderly, as well as to address the problem of poor nutrition, which exists among many older people. So really, the goal of the program is twofold. One is to, of course, provide nutritional meals, but to also provide a setting for older adults to be more engaged in their community. Funding is subject, of course, to the availability of funds from the City of Chicago, the Illinois Department on Aging, and the Older Americans Act. One or more delegate agency agreement awards will be made for a 3-year period from October 1st, 2017 through September 30th of 2020 for an amount not to exceed $2,700,000 for the first budget year. DFSS reserves the option to extend the delegate agency agreements for a maximum of 2 additional 1-year periods, each not to exceed more than 12 months for a total of 5 years. Eligible respondents include nonprofit and for-profit entities that prepare and serve meals to the public and are in compliance with the City of Chicago public health codes, as demonstrated through a current health inspection report. As an overview of the program, we serve approximately 800,000 meals to over 30,000 seniors at 53 Congregate nutrition sites citywide. All meals follow the meal pattern developed by the Illinois Department on Aging, and all meal menus are approved by registered dietitians. The menus are prepared and delivered by contracted meal providers to 48 out of the 53 sites. The majority of the catered meals are bulk hot meals with occasional box lunches served in lieu of or in addition to the hot meals. A small portion of the catered sites receive pre-plated meals. The remaining 5 nutrition sites are operated by on-site meal providers that prepare and serve the meals at their sites. Meal unit consists of the total cost of the specified food, including delivery costs where appropriate, and cost of disposable supplies, eating utensils, serving equipment, cleaning supplies, etc. In addition to complying with the IDOA standards that are found in Attachment 3, the following is also required. Coffee, tea served daily, tea as requested, of course, margarine to be served when rolls are being provided in the menu. Food items must be pre-cut prior to delivery. Once a month, individually decorated cupcakes will be provided with meal order for birthday celebrations at all sites. The geographic boundaries of the sites within the 5 regions of the city of Chicago are found in Attachment 1. All nutrition sites are listed in Attachment 2, Nutrition Site Location and Serving Information, which includes meal serving days and times, the type of meals being served, the cuisine type that's being requested, and the appropriate number of meals to be served daily. Actually, that's an approximate number of meals to be served daily. All menu meal types and cuisines listed must consist of quality, nutritious meals. So the program scope lists by type the meals that we are requesting respondents to apply for. Hot lunch meal and a box lunch meal that corresponds with that. The breakfast meal, which is also, which also has the box lunch meal with it. That will be the same rate as the hot lunch, box lunch that's specified above. Pre-plated meals along with their box lunches. Special citywide box lunch meal that's primarily for citywide senior fest event type meals. Special holiday meals. These are holiday themed meals. There's anywhere from 6 or more holiday meals that are served throughout the year. Special event hot or box meals. That's a specialty meal that we're asking for potential applicants to respond to. Special event breakfast meals, again, that's a specialty type meal. For samples of all of these meal types, please see Attachment 4. There are 4 seasonal cycle menus for the hot lunch, pre-plated, and breakfast meals. Menus must be consistent with the IDOA standards and must be submitted to DFSS for approval. Menus must also be prepared in accordance with our menu planning standards, see Attachment 5, and the food specifications for cycle menus, and that's Attachment 6. The awardee will be responsible for providing copies of the approved menus to each nutrition site prior to the start of the menu cycle. So that just means enough copies for what that meal order number is on the first day of that new menu cycle. Meal orders and authorizations. They're submitted 1 week in advance. Changes to meal orders follow the time frame specified in the RFP. Days of operation include all days except for the 6 major holidays that are listed in the RFP. Nutritional education is part of the program component, and DFSS will provide nutritional education material that will be distributed to each site through the awarded meal providers. Service delivery specifications for catered meal providers. Please reference letters I and J in the RFP. That'll also give you detail on the meal packaging, delivery equipment, and delivery specifications. Service delivery specifications for on-site meal providers, you would want to make sure that you reference letter K in the RFP under that section. That will address the requirements and expectations for outreach, socialization, participant registrations, collection of contributions, and of course, food service staff that's being required. We've just included an addendum to the RFP that you will find online that references the reimbursement rate of $10 an hour. That is our reimbursement for the staff that will be provided through the on-site meal providers. However, the expectation is that, and requirement is that the provider or awardee will ensure that they are abiding by the minimum wage requirements for the City of Chicago. Thank you. Quality control. For cook, chill, heat production systems, or a system that includes prepared food storage, awardee will be required to submit food samples to laboratory for pathogenic organism analysis quarterly. Awardee must have clear written sanitation, safety, and monitoring policies and procedures. Invoices will be required weekly for catered meal providers and monthly for on-site meal providers. There is also a requirement of an in-kind match of 10%. Performance goals. Annual satisfaction surveys to clients should indicate that 70% or more of the seniors receive quality meals and nutritional needs are met. We will also track the number of food service issues, timeliness of the quarterly menus and laboratory analysis, and responses to food service related complaints and concerns. For the evaluation process, each proposal will be evaluated on the strengths of the proposal and the responsiveness to the selection criteria. Successful respondents must be ready to proceed with the proposed program by October 1st of 2017. Failure to submit a complete proposal and or to respond fully to all requirements may cause the proposal to be deemed unresponsive and therefore subject to rejection. For the selection criteria, we encourage you strongly to read the selection criteria that is stated in the RFP. Previous program performance that uses criteria based on past and current performance for a total of 25 possible points. Program design administration basically deals with the ability and capacity of the respondent for a total of 35 points. Administrative and physical capacity, resources, and expertise for 25 points. And then budget, the match in kind and reasonable costs that are presented in the budget portion of the application for a total of 15 points. So the application can be accessed at the link stated below. Responses must be received no later than September 5th of 2017 by noon. Again, the application is through the Cyber Grant system, which operates best in the Chrome browser environment. There's a login page that you will have to enter your email, create a password. There's technical support available and a detailed need help section. Make sure your responses are complete and as detailed as possible. This is the first time that the Congregate RFP is being issued through a cyber grants type of proposal, but that means that your responses should still be as detailed and complete as needed, and that you are sure to upload the requested documents. For the program budget application portion of the RFP, respondents may apply to be a catered meal provider or an on-site meal provider or both. Applicants for catered meal must complete number 1, which includes the meal unit rate proposals. Number 2, sites and cuisine type to be served, hourly rates for number 3, and the number of food service staff to be provided. For catered meals, we have included the option of providing food service staff, but that is not something that will necessarily be required. For the catered meals provider, you will be selecting the area and combination of sites that you would like to serve. So wherever you see the heavier outline is the grouping of the sites that will come with what you indicate as on the proposal with the check mark. So the next page will actually show you an example of how you would possibly complete that. Let's say you are only interested in providing for the Central West region the hot lunch, box lunch combination, breakfast for general cuisine. You would provide or indicate a check mark in the box where it states applying to serve sites. And then you would use your proposed rate and multiply it, of course, by the number of meals and the number of days as indicated in the last column and enter that amount. Again, you may only be interested in certain cuisine types and certain regional areas of the city of Chicago. That's fine. You just need to ensure that when you're providing or indicating the check mark, you are aware that you are providing the number of sites within that box. Applicants for on-site meals must upload the completed attachments to 7A and 7B. Existing providers do not need to complete 7B. The on-site meal provider would need to indicate the cuisine type, meal unit rate, number of meals to be served, and the number of requested servers. A link to the complete webinar will be available online at the DFSS website for those who cannot attend or would like to revisit this event. You will receive an email when it is available. Questions regarding the Congregate program would go to myself, Nikki Garbus-Prutzos, at the email address indicated, and any administrative questions regarding the RFP should be directed to Julia Talbot at her respective email. Thank you for your time and interest in serving seniors in Chicago, and we can take any questions that you might have at this time.
In order to ask a question, you just type in a question in the question box, and we'd be happy to answer it for you. Or you can also raise your hand, and I can unmute you, and you can ask your question directly. Wilda Gonzalez, hello.
Hello, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Santosh Kumar and Wilda Gonzalez from Metropolitan Asian Family Services.
Great. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Nikki?
Good.
Right. You are saying in the application that we need to have minimum 30 per day participants. That include all the day, or is it aggregate or something?
Yes,
Because
it's an aggregated average.
aggregate average. Okay. Yeah, you are saying that, but in the Saturday, because we are serving from Monday to Saturday.
Right. And not every day will probably be consistent or the same, but the expectation is that
Expectation is that, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you are saying $10 you are giving for the salary for the server, or you have more positions now, or what?
So, right.
Can we apply for more positions? Mm-hmm.
Well, that's going to be determined at the review process. So that comes after, but the reimbursement rate for the servers for on-site will be a flat fee of $10 an hour to supplement the cost.
$10 per meal? No, right? You are giving $10. You are $10 per hour for the salary proposition, or what is the rate of the food?
For the serving position, correct.
Yeah.
For
and the meal?
The meal cost is a separate rate that you propose in your application, where it says meal unit rate.
Right. And when you are giving the explanation, you are saying food costs include the paper product also, spoon, a napkin, and cleaning subject also. So we should give you that kind of budget, including all this?
Right. The meal unit cost includes all of that.
Okay. Because okay, very good. Because that will be a little bit higher, because generally you have given very low kind of meal per meal, $3.50 or something like that, right? That will be very difficult for us. We have to calculate properly. Okay. So we will make the budget including all this.
Great.
Plate and okay.
We have a next question from San regarding the participant list. Could we use the list you sent us? Could we use part of the list?
So I'm assuming this is in regards to the participant registration. The expectation from us is that participants that are attending the Golden Diners program will be provided the vehicle through which they can properly register for the program, and that is through an intake form and a picture ID being generated. That's one part of it. The other part of it is the annual renewals that are expected for participants that continue to come to the site. So certainly you may use the information that's provided from our department as a way to track what renewals need to be done each year.
Regarding service references, could it be from businesses?
Sure, as long as it's a verifiable business, that's really the only stipulation, and that it is for services that are similar to those that you are applying for in the RFP.
Could we propose a different rate for special meals?
So for the on-site meal provider, that should all be included in your proposed unit rate. So keeping that in mind as you calculate and come up with what you think is a reasonable proposal for the meal unit rate.
Okay, one more. The question about participant lists in attachment 7A, number 19, it's regarding documentation.
So in 7A, number 19, I'm going to have to reference the document, so bear with me for a moment. So if you're an existing provider, you could always attach your registration list of participants. This is primarily for new applicants that will need to demonstrate that there is a need and a demand for that service.
It looks like Ms. Chan wants to ask us a question live. So if you could enter 88 pound and the pound sign on your phone, and we can go ahead and hear you. Just need to enter 88 and the pound sign on your phone. All existing sites have to register to iSupplier.
I don't know what iSupplier is. So no.
In RFP page 937, last sentence, a separate unit for special holiday meals. Does it mean a different rate for a special meal?
Is there?
This is the on-site, this is Sano?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, for the on-site the meal providers, the expectation is for one meal unit rate that will incorporate the holiday meals throughout the year for your culturally specific site.
So we propose an increase of the unit rate.
All respondents are encouraged to provide a reasonable yet appropriate, true cost for what they are applying to provide for the city of Chicago. So, you know, whether that's above or below what the current rate is, you know, is not the issue. It's really about what is a fair and appropriate cost for the services that you're providing.
Could we propose an increase of the unit rate?
I just answered that.
Yeah. Could the rate be negotiated once we're approved?
It will absolutely be negotiated.
Sorry, could you repeat the answer?
Yes, it will be negotiated.
Thank you very much, Nikki.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Not right now. Yes. I understand that CHA is providing staffing for some golden dinner sites through a previous RFP. I assume there is no overlap in sites with this RFP.
No, there is not. Not for staffing, no.
Thank you. Hello, Wilda, you have another question?
Actually, Santosh has a question.
I forgot what I had. You were saying about something about the special meal that we have to propose that you say that, but then you say the existing cannot be, the people who are preparing on site have only one rate. So which one is we should do?
Yeah.
We should give rates or different, only one rate.
So it's one rate.
We have many, Nikki, you know that we have many festivals as compared to other cultural requirement. We have many festivals. We have to prepare the special meal, at least 15 to 20 at least in a year.
And,
so
and that,
can we have it? Yeah, go ahead.
And that's why we're not going to prescribe the number of special holiday meals for on-site providers, given every site may be, very different culturally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
so right, so that's why we're asking for one unit rate that will incorporate special meals throughout the year as your site deems appropriate. So you would factor that in to your meal unit rate proposal.
But Nikki, your unit rate is very low to the even normal food. So how it can be appropriate for the special food? And you know it very well. So I don't know how to do it.
So again, I mean, you need to do the best that you can to come up with going to be a reasonable meal unit rate based on the parameters of the program and the funding limitations that we have from year to year. It needs to be reasonable. And so just, think about what that would look like for your specific agency as you're preparing the proposal.
Yeah, there's another thing. Another question which I have. Generally, we take the contribution, and that contribution goes to you. You means department. And the other, our own cultural side do not take anything. So the people think that we are charging them, and they are not. So what should we do?
So the voluntary contributions that you're collecting are those remain with your agency. So
it remains, but you cut from our whole reimbursement. So it is basically
your invoice
same
is
thing
reduced by that amount, right?
Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying. So we are getting unnecessary bad name. We are taking the money from the seniors, and the other center is not taking.
So these are voluntary contributions.
I know, it is.
And it is offered by the Older Americans Act. So we must provide seniors with an opportunity to make a contribution. We are not requiring
But my question to you is that the other side is not taking this, not having this. So they are getting appropriation, they are not charging, and we are charging as if we are putting in our pocket.
So every site needs to inform their participants that there is an opportunity to make a contribution. That's really the most that can be said about that particular part of the RFP.
That we do. That's what I'm saying. But we have a different name. Other people have a different name because they are giving the food free, and we are charging them. Or charging means we are taking some money as a contribution.
Right, but it is not seen as charging. This is a voluntary contribution.
Voluntary contribution, definitely it is, but it's
making it available to the seniors. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
It seems that when we get online, we're directed to iSupplier portal. Is that correct?
I don't, can somebody tell me what is the iSupplier portal? You should be directed to Cyber Grants, which is where the application for the RFP is located. I don't know what the iSupplier portal is.
Madeline McNamara, you had your hand raised, but your phone is muted. It was unmuted earlier, so please type in your question or dial 94 and the pound sign on your phone, and we can go ahead. You can go ahead and ask your question live. Related to iSupplier, it's a new system that the FSS or the city will start implementing in October.
That is, oh, e-procurement. Okay. That system will be coming up in October. It's not being used now. If you go to the RFP, there's a direct link from the RFP to the Cyber Grants application, which is what you should be filling out. You should register. I encourage everybody to register in iSupplier, but that is not actually connected to this application, nor is it part of our evaluation criteria. It's something that you should do, though, so that you will be able to apply for subsequent RFPs that will be pushed through that new system, but not until October.
No other questions so far. Follow up to that, could we call Julia?
Sure. My number is 312-743-1679. Or you can, is there a way for you to unmute yourself?
Don, if you dial 86 and the pound sign, you can go ahead and talk to Julia live. There he is.
Hello, this is Madeline McNamara.
Hi, Madeline.
Hi.
Hi, I did have a question. I'm trying to clarify, and I know someone mentioned it, but I'm still not sure. So under the food service staff, page 14, number 2, it says that the catered meal service providers may be required to provide staff for the operation at the nutrition sites.
Right.
Is that for not the 5 sites, for all of the sites? You know how that you have like 5 sites at the actual catering, they have kitchens and they do it all there. Is it also then the other sites?
Yes. Right. So the catered sites, right?
So the catered sites potentially.
Potentially, correct.
And what happens if you don't want to be involved in providing staff? Should you just not should you state that in the bid, or is that I guess a requirement that you will have to?
Well, I mean, we would like to see what the proposed rate would be, if you're able to provide that for us. If you're not interested in doing so, then you would just not complete that. I'm not sure if it's a required field, though, in the RFP. Madeline, you can follow up with us by email if it is, if during the course of you filling out the application, And if you don't enter a value in that field, and it doesn't allow you to proceed to the next part of the RFP application, let us know.
If there's an asterisk in front of the question, that means it's required. If you are not, if it is required, then you could put some sort of placeholder language in the question to answer it.
Wait, so repeat that. So I understand that if the asterisk is in front of the question, then something must be, it's required that you enter something. But what was the follow? You kind of broke up. I didn't hear what you said after that.
So you need to enter something, even if it would be a sentence saying why you were not answering the question.
Okay, so you have to write something, even though it's not going to be a dollar figure.
Correct, or you could put in 0.
Okay.
Right, and if there's an opportunity to say something about that, then go ahead and do that. If there's not, if it's limiting you, then just put the 0, and that's something that we would go back and discuss afterwards.
Okay. Okay. That's the only question that I had for today.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
No more questions so far.
Okay. Well, we want to thank everyone again for your participation and your interest. And remember that you can email any additional questions to myself or to Julia before your submission of the RFP. And we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.